Greetings, adventurers, and welcome back to the Den of the Drake. Other dragons hoard gold, while I hoard internet cringe. Today, we will be talking about one of the most elusive and mysterious monsters in all of Dungeons & Dragons. This creature's ability to steal the hearts and minds of men is legendary. No, I'm not talking about beholders or mind flayers. I'm talking about women. Hey now, look at me. Internet thoughts are temporary. Dragons are forever. Today's story is about a man whose girlfriend has sworn off D&D forever, and the annoying paladin responsible. Now, without further delay, let's go ahead and dive right into this viewer-submitted horror story. Enjoy. This story is titled, "The Reason Why My Girlfriend Won't Play Role-Playing Games Anymore." I have been trying to get my girlfriend to play D&D again. It's been a bit of an uphill battle since her first impression was an absolute horror story. My cousin invited me to a game he was DMing and hosting. I had not played in a few years and was excited to try 5th edition. I asked my live-in girlfriend if she wanted to give it a try. She said it sounds like it could be fun, but she's not sure about the rules. I told her, just say what you want to do and we will use the rules to determine if that happens or not. When we are driving there, I kind of go over the basics. We use dice rolls on a d20 to decide how well your character does something. For example, you can say, I jump on the table and do a dance. You describe the dance, and then we roll a d20 and use some numbers to determine how well you do what you are describing. She seems to get it. Me and my girlfriend got there a little early so we could make her sheet. I decided to make her a warlock, with limited spell slots. I thought it would be a good way to wrap her head around magic, and when in doubt, she can always just do Eldritch Blast. She is also really into witches, tarot cards and stuff, so I thought it would be a fun role for her to play. The party was my cousin the DM, his wife playing a lawful good wizard, our 2 longtime mutual friends playing a chaotic neutral fighter and a chaotic good barbarian, then this guy I didn't really know who was playing a lawful good paladin. I rolled a lawful neutral rogue. Okay, so we already know that the problem player is a paladin, which is actually kind of a problem for me because paladins are my favorite class by far. It's like a different story when I'm like shitting on like the tiefling rogue or the drow warlock. But like, come on, a paladin, man? I mean, there's a lawful stupid stereotype that's already given us a bad name. So I'm really hoping that this story doesn't get too bad. But let's be honest here, we all know it's gonna get bad. The game started well enough. Pretty generic opener. We all had the same dream and we were instructed to go to the inn of this small town. It was basically, you all meet at the inn, but with an extra step so we can all have a moment to develop our characters. Everyone tried to improv some scenes with their character. When it was my turn, I made a joke where my rogue was blackout the night before, and already ended up at the tavern to his surprise. The paladin, visibly impatient, says, I wake up at the inn as well, so we can move this along. My girlfriend, now nervous and the last person to go, said, yeah, okay. I wake up at the inn too. Ah, crap. Not only is he a problem player, but he's also a prick. My cousin, picking up on the impatience, set us along a path that directs us to a dungeon. We all pile into a cart and make our way down a road. We take shifts sleeping and keeping watch. I say, while I'm laying down before I start sleeping, I carve a hole in the side of the cart. Paladin interrupts me. Why does that matter? I ignore him. Can I roll to see how big the hole is? DM. Yeah, sure. Anand, stop wasting our time with this bullshit. You always do shit like this. Every time there is a shift change, I keep carving at the hole. Paladin. Stop it with this stupid hole. This is not how you play. I just want to get to the dungeon. Eventually, the party stops to camp for a long rest, since we all can't sleep in the cart. They all lay out their bedrolls around a fire. I sleep in the cart. I hear the DM roll some dice. My girlfriend's character wakes up to her being drug away. She says, "Oh my god, what should I do?" Paladin, "Kill it!" Girlfriend, "How?" Paladin, "Just attack it!" Girlfriend is panicking. I lean in and say, "What do you think your character would do in this situation?" Girlfriend, "I scream!" DM, she screams. The creature turns to notice that you are awake. Everyone do a constitution check to see if you wake up. I pass the check and say, I grab my bow and draw it, aiming through the hole I've carved. DM, since your hole has gotten quite large, you can roll with advantage and get surprise. I roll a 12 plus 4 and a 17 plus 4. Paladin, you can't do that. The best he could get is +2 to armor class for his cover. DM, well, he already rolled. Trigger assassinate, 35 damage. Drop the fucker in a single hit. Girlfriend jokingly, my hero. Paladin, I get up and run out to see if there's any more of them. DM, just then you get ambushed by 3 more orcs. We then drew the encounter on a dry erase map. I use my bonus action to hide in the cart again. I roll a 10 plus 8. Roll for initiative. Every time it was my girlfriend's turn, the Paladin had no patience for her trying to figure things out. He would just say, use Eldritch Blast! And he was constantly trying to take her turn for her instead of just giving her a second to do things for herself. This went on for a while. The Paladin had no interest in role-playing and was just trying to get things to combat as soon as possible. He was an absolute rules lawyer and a power gamer. I'm the type of player that likes to roleplay and likes to think of interesting ways to approach the combat situation. Every time I tried to do so, he got aggressive with me, saying that I was wasting everyone's time. My god. Dude, next to Bard, Paladin is one of the most roleplay-focused classes in the entire game. Like, come on, your oath and relationship with your chosen god, which is usually something you roleplay, literally determines all of your abilities. The fact that this prick is taking it all out on a new player, of all people, really boils my piss. I mean, come on. She's a new player. How do you expect the hobby to grow if you're gonna start getting all mad every time she doesn't understand something? She didn't come out of her mother's womb holding the player's handbook, and I'm willing to bet neither did you. Sorry for getting mad there, everyone, but I just want to say I'm really sick of the elitist attitude that some D&D players have. This is a form of indirect gatekeeping, and gatekeeping in any hobby is a surefire way to spot someone with a small dick. All right, enough of that. Back to the story. But it all came to a head when we were in this encounter, where we were in this big dark room. There was a light poking in from the ceiling. My girlfriend was human, so her hits kept missing due to the lighting. I told her, hey, try hitting the ceiling to create more light. When it was her turn, she said, I shoot the ceiling. Paladin, no, you can't do that. That won't work. Just keep using Eldritch Blast. She got really discouraged and just went back to shooting the baddie. In response, I used my turn to steal his gold. He got furious. But couldn't do anything about it because I passed my sleight of hand check and my stealth check, so I could do it undetected, which resulted in him knowing, but his character not knowing. Of course, after the encounter, he randomly decided to count his gold, then instantly assumed it was me when it came up short. My girlfriend stopped wanting to go to D&D after about 2 sessions. I stopped after 3. Her first impression of the game would dictate that it is all about knowing the rules and just non-stop fighting, despite me trying to tell her that it was just a bad experience. As far as the Paladin, I talked to my cousin, and he said that he is a lot better when he's not drinking. But personally, I think he was just jealous because he was the only single guy there. End of story. Wow! What a twist! Turns out the angry man who likes to get drunk while playing D&D with his friends and harass women while doing it doesn't have a girlfriend. Who could have ever seen that coming? Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at this week's Gallery of the Drake to get the taste of that story out of our mouths, huh? This week's piece is titled Dawn of the Drake, and is done by the very talented artist and viewer, Lockpunq. I call it Dawn of the Drake because it reminds me of the dawn of my life, back when I was a red dragon wormling, and not the magnificent hoarder of cringe you all know today. Thank you again, Lockpunq, for submitting your art. And if you want to be featured in next week's Gallery of the Drake, be sure to send your fan art to the email in my About section. Now, with the story over and the art displayed, that is where we'll end today's episode. I would like to thank you all for listening, and I hope to see you next time in the Den of the Drake.